We're on.
Everybody turn your mics on. Make sure you got a
I turned most of them on for
green light.
them.
She don't let us not turn them
Don't
on.
let anybody slide.
No.
No. It's official.
It's not
Not
9 o'clock
quite here,
until
not
Mr.
here.
Manning stands up. I can tell you what time it is. When Mr. Manning stands up, it's 9 o'clock.
And he is directly in front. That's the only thing facing the clock.
And it's 9 o'clock. Mr. Manning?
Well, this is certainly an exciting day, new year, new meetings and all. So, Father God, we ask you, sir, if you would be with us and be with the judge and the magistrates and all those decision makers here today. And I'm sure you've reviewed the agenda. Just ask that you give them the knowledge and understanding and things that needs to be done this very day, because it will affect all the people within the county. Father, we believe that you're going to be there, be with them, anoint them in such a way that it'll be good for everyone, because we ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Manning. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, sir, as always.
That's a heavy chair.
Welcome, everybody. Good to see a full house this morning. Good to see a full house and a new start here in 2019. I assume everybody's had a chance to review the minutes. Are there any additions or corrections that need to be made?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. First on the agenda is the 2019 county clerk's budget. I'll yield the floor to our clerk, Garrett Thompson. Garrett, it's all you. Come up here where people might be able to hear you with the microphone, if you don't care.
Sure. First and foremost, I want to say Happy New Year to everybody. I'm very excited to be here in my new role, in this new capacity. I've attended several fiscal court meetings for several years when I was head of economic development, but again, I'm excited today to be here in my new role. I'm also excited to say that the entire staff in the clerk's office has been retained. I think that's key to make this transition as seamless as possible. I had a great first day yesterday, and we're looking forward to a great year. Looking forward to serving and helping you guys in any way, in any manner that I can. I guess my first question is, do you guys all have a copy of the proposed 2019 clerk's budget? I put one in your mailbox yesterday. Not going to be many changes. Talk about hitting the ground running. First day's yesterday, and I'm presenting the budget in front of the court on day 2. So based upon the auditor's recommendations, there's just a few changes that we've made to this budget, and I'll highlight those. And of course, I'll be happy to answer any questions the best I can if you guys have any questions. But the 2 changes that were recommended by the auditor, my salary is going to decrease. It's scaled based upon years of service. My salary is going to decrease roughly $6,500 compared to what it was in the clerk's budget last year. Also, being new in this role, in this position, there's going to be a lot of trainings and conferences, conventions that I'm going to try to attend. So we increased that section in the budget. These are all on page 4 of your budget if you're curious where I'm at. You can see the salary in there, and then the conventions and travel is actually on page 5. Salary is on page 4, conventions and travel on page 5. Convention and travel has increased from $9,000 to $12,000. Another minor change, this is on page 4 as well. Listen for me that the training benefit that clerks receive from House Bill 810, being new, that's going to decrease for me. $4,200 was budgeted last year, and we've decreased that to $2,000. I'm also proposing a 5% increase for deputy clerk salaries. Based upon what was budgeted last year, the full salary payout didn't reach what was budgeted, so there's a little bit of wiggle room there. So even with the 5% increase in the deputy salaries, that total number that you see for deputy salaries didn't have to increase. So even with the 5% increase, there was still enough money based upon what was budgeted for last year to cover that. So if you're curious on how, if you remember last year, wouldn't expect you to, but last year the clerk budgeted to give back to the fiscal court a little over $71,000, which is great. This year we're projected to give back a little over 76. So I'll be happy to try to answer any questions that you guys may have. Do my best.
First, Gary, I want to congratulate you on keeping your staff.
Thank you.
I think that was a wise decision. It's a great staff you have in there. So I think I appreciate you doing that. I think that's very, very wise on your part. And let's see, it'll take 4 years for your salary to get up to where, because it's based on years of service. After 4 years, then it'll max back up to what the state has allowed.
Correct.
Okay. And on your deputy clerks, you're talking about 5%. All the personnel in there are deputy clerks?
Correct.
So that affects everyone?
That's the entire staff.
Entire staff?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I would like to echo his sentiments on the keeping the staff. I think, you know, and we all know that they're a big asset to, you know, this courthouse.
That's right.
You didn't want to cut a lot of knowledge there, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Same for me.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sorry. I do have one question with regard to the 5% increase. Do you know when they last received an increase?
That I'm not sure. I know they told me that a proposal is made for an increase each year, but as far as that proposal being granted, I'm not sure when the last time
Okay.
that was.
I can tell you it was July. He gave a raise the same time the county gave their employees a raise last year.
Is 5% a
We
standard?
did not get 5% last year.
Yeah, I'm just curious as the percentage, if that's a standard within the county employees.
Within the clerk and the sheriff, it's standard for them to budget that much.
Okay.
But it's not standard for them to give that much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Any further questions? I'll entertain a motion to accept the clerk's budget.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Garrett.
Thank you,
Thank you,
guys.
sir.
Appreciate it.
You made it through your first.
I did.
We have several things that we just have to do on a fiscal year, or calendar, when we start on the calendar year with the new court. So a lot of these things that we're going to have on the agenda that you see, we'll move through fairly quickly. The first would be the reappointment of County EMA Director Greg Knoll per KRS 39B 020.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Next is the reappointment of County Road Supervisor Mike Smead to a 4-year term for KRS 179020.
So moved.
Second. Jimmy Burns, second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Fourth item is the reappointment of Animal Control Officer Richie Jones for KRS 258195.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Will you accept it, Richie?
Yeah.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Our fifth item is reappointment of all county employees per KRS 67710.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Man, we are moving right along. Authorization of county jailer to accept bond release fees per KRS 4315305.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
Any
Now,
discussion?
Jailer Eller, you want to explain exactly what all that entails?
It's just a $5 fee when they bond out. We just add a tax to the bond, and they pay us $5 for the handling the money and stuff of that nature.
And we're assuming you want that.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
What does that go in to pay your other bills?
It goes into the county, there's a line item in my budget for the revenue aspect of my budget, and it goes into that. So processing fees, I believe, is the line item.
No, the bond fees are a separate account line.
Okay.
It's more specific.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. We want to set day and time of fiscal court meetings for the next 4 years. I didn't know this was the ability to change, but we're going to keep that the same, the second and fourth, with the fifth on a night meeting, fifth when we have a fifth one. And so need a motion to continue as we have been in the past.
On that.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Now discussion.
Okay. So it'll be the second, fourth Tuesdays at 9 and the fifth Tuesday at 5:30 in the evening.
That's correct.
Okay.
As we have done
Right.
for,
Several.
I don't know,
Since Bob been here, I don't know.
longer than me, for sure.
Jimmy Beach is one.
Longer than you?
Yeah, when I first come on the court, Bob Height, there was 4 meetings, first 4 Tuesdays of the month we met. And when Jimmy Beach became judge, he decreased it. Then later on, he decreased it to 2 meetings a month. And then later on, we added the 5th Tuesday meeting because some people said, well, we can't get there during the daytime. Can you have an evening meeting? So that's why that was added in.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Number 8, we want to set the fiscal court committees, and I have a list of those that I have put together. The ambulance committee will be Magistrate Wyatt and Clemens. Personnel committee will be Magistrates Floyd and Ricketts. The finance investment committee will be Magistrates Clemens and Ricketts. The insurance committee will be Magistrates Floyd and Burns. Jail committee will be Magistrates Floyd and Wyatt. United Family Services committee will be Magistrates Burns and Wyatt. The Moffett Lake committee will be Magistrate Burns and Ricketts, with Paul Mansour, our tourism director, on that as well. Our museum committee will be Magistrates Clemens and Burns, with Paul Mansour being on that as well. And senior services will be Magistrate Clemens and Magistrate Ricketts. And animal control committee will be Magistrates Floyd and Magistrate Wyatt. I'd entertain a motion to accept those.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion on those?
Just for clarification on Paul Mansour, even though he's not a member of the court, he's head of our tourism, so that involves Moffett Lake and Officers Club Museum. So I talked with Judge O'Nan about adding Paul to there, that committee, so he can keep up with what's going on. Judge O'Nan thought it was a good idea also, so that's the explanation of why Paul, we'd like to have Paul on there. And I think you've talked to Paul, and I think Paul Mansour has agreed to do that.
Oh, yeah, he was excited to be of help.
Okay.
Paul's a good asset, and we'll look forward to having him on those committees. So, and these committees will deal with these specific areas when we have things come up, bids, when we go through our insurance policy again. The magistrates committee will meet with the insurance folks first before it's presented to the court, and it's just a way to streamline and get those things kind of in process and screen before we take any official action. No official action is taken in those committees. It's more of an advisory position to the court. So
A lot of meetings before they come before the fiscal court.
Right.
With the recommendation.
any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Excuse me. Our next is the hire recommendation for the recycle coordinator position. We had probably 10 or 12 applications for this. We interviewed the top 4. We had 4 good candidates, but in the interview process, one of those stuck out, and we are excited to recommend that we hire Ms. Kara Messmore for the recycling coordinator at a rate of $12 an hour, and she would be able to start immediately.
Is that K-A-R-A?
Kara. Lives here in Morganfield.
I would like a motion to hire Carrie as in that position.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Our next item we have been talking about for some time, since I've been on the court, and have waited until we had the new court in place before we started this process. And we'd like to hire an assistant maintenance position, and that is basically to be Coach's helper. Coach runs several buildings. He made a list for me. I just wanted to kind of hold this up of all the things that are going in and all the maintenance of the county, and it ranges from senior services to the annex to this building. He works, has to work a lot of overtime, and in fact, Coach rarely, if ever, clocks in for overtime when he comes in to help us on the weekends, and that happens often. And
Same
so,
way in the morning, so he comes up real early, 4 o'clock sometimes.
yeah, so we have been talking about getting Coach some help, of which he has welcomed, and so this position, because of the overtime, will be a lateral move as far as money-wise. It'll take care of itself, and just having the position, and so we want to set the advertisement for the assistant position the 16th and the 23rd of January, and we will accept applications until January 31st of 2019. And if you are in agreement with that, I would take that in the form of a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
Another thing besides needing the help, if, God forbid, something would happen, or you get hurt or get sick on Coach Stewart, we need somebody can say, I know what's going, I can come in there and step in. Because if it didn't, then we're gonna kind of be out in left field. So it's
May resemble a government shutdown.
Yeah.
Are we looking at
Worse.
to hire that first week in February?
Try to hire that first week in February.
I was going to ask if you had that in the budget, but your comment on the offset for the overtime.
Yeah, the
covers it.
overtime is pretty
Covers
staggering
the finances.
of what he has to do to keep all the balls in the air. So that was the reason that we wanted to go on and get this started.
We've been talking about it for a while.
But we wanted to wait for our new folks. We're all going to be in this together, so we want to do it together. So we've got a motion seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Next is the Union County Emergency Operations Plan Executive Order. Greg, you want to elaborate? There you are. Found you.
Yeah, anytime that we have any major changes to our emergency plan, or if there's a change in the judge's seat, so we have to redo that. And what the emergency plan does, it identifies everybody's role in the county in the event of an emergency. So it does require the judge's signature to allow this verified and in place.
And he needs to do the executive order today, correct?
I'm sorry?
He needs to do the executive order today, correct?
Yes. the
Okay.
executive order.
I'm going to read this executive order just to be transparent, and this is basically a process that if it goes badly for whatever reason that might happen in the county, that we have set guidelines of which we follow, so we're not running around trying to figure out what to do. We have in place a plan and that we do that. Office of Union County Judge Executive Executive Order. Whereas KRS 39B 010, KRS 39B 030, and KRS 39C 050, and applicable Kentucky administration regulations requires the development and maintenance of a local emergency plan which sets forth the local government organizational structure, policies, procedures, and guidelines, and coordination of all disaster and emergency responses in Union County and its cities, and whereas KRS 39B 030, KRS 39B 060, KRS 39C 050, applicable Kentucky administrative regulations and planning guidance issued by the Kentucky Division of Emergency Management require the local emergency operations plan be officially approved and adopted by signed executive order of the county judge executive. And whereas the Director of Union County Office of Emergency Management has submitted the Union County Emergency Operation Plan to the County Judge Executive for official approval and adoption in accordance with the aforementioned laws, administrative regulations, and planning guidance. Now therefore, I, Adam Onan, Union County Judge Executive, by virtue of the powers and authorities vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and in accordance with the provisions of KRS 39A to 39F, applicable Kentucky administrative regulations, and the Union County Emergency Management Ordinance, do hereby order and direct the following. The Union County Emergency Operation Plan is officially approved and adopted. Effectiveness this date of this executive order is shown herein. The conveyance of the official approval and adoption of the Union County Emergency Operations Plan through the executive order shall remain continuously in effect from the date of this executive order promulgated in accordance with KRS 39B 030, KRS 39B 060, KRS 39C 050, applicable Kentucky administrative regulations and planning guidance issued by the Kentucky Division of Emergency Management. A copy of this officially approved and adopted Union County Emergency Operation Plan, including this executive order, shall be placed on file for public inspection during regular office hours in the Union County Office of Emergency Management. Signed this day, Adam Onan, Union County Judge Executive. And man, that is a mouthful. I would accept that in the form of a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Is this the same as it was last year, basically?
Yeah, basically.
Great, okay. And this is for 4 years? Is this a 4-year plan, or you
The
get?
plan changes anytime that there's anything that we have to relook
Adjust,
at,
yeah.
or if there's a change, it has to be relooked.
We had to do this after my appointment as well.
Okay.
Any kind of major change on this court will require a change.
Or any kind of change in the plan.
That's correct. Any kind of change. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Next is our continuity of government resolution. You have anything to add to that, Greg?
Well, it is exactly what it says, or it's just a document that's going to identify in the event, for whatever reason, that the judge cannot perform his duties, it articulates who is next in line and how to take that line.
Continue of government resolution, whereas the Union County Fiscal Court deems it necessary to provide for the orderly succession of office of Judge Executive in the event of the absence or disability of the Judge Executive as defined in KRS 67725 when involving a national, state, or local emergency. And whereas under Kentucky law, KRS 63190, any vacancy in the office of Judge Executive is filled by the governor. When a vacancy occurs, the county clerk is responsible for notifying the governor of the vacancy under KRS 63210. A county judge executive appointment in this manner serves in accordance with Section 152 of the Kentucky State Constitution. Whereas the line of succession contained in this resolution is to ensure that a county governmental official is available to serve in the absence or disability of the judge executive. It is therefore resolved that when the absence or disability of Union County Judge Executive Adam Onan shall prevent his serving in the office during a national, state, or local emergency, the duties and responsibilities of the County Judge Executive shall be administered temporarily by a member of the Union County Fiscal Court in the following order as set forth in KRS 67740 and KRS 67745. The order of succession is: number 1, Joe Clemens, Magistrate District 5. Number 2, Jerry Floyd, Magistrate District 2. Number 3, Rick White, Magistrate District 1. 4, Jim Burns, Magistrate District 4. And 5, Jim Ricketts, Magistrate District 5. District 5. That's not right. It's District 3. It's written District 5, but it needs to be District 3. I'll entertain a motion for that.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Hopefully, everybody's gonna stay healthy and well. We're
We
not
don't
gonna
need
need
that,
that.
yes.
That's the
We're
plan,
good.
but that's why we have it, in case the plan goes awry. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Next, we have a flooring quotes for the 2 offices at the Union County Annex. Catch everybody up to speed. The AOC had come to the court and approved, they wanted new carpet throughout the court. Some of the offices of the judges, courtroom, they did a pretty good job over there, but they didn't do 2 offices. So we have 2 offices that our drug court is one of them that uses, and I can't recall the other one. They're a small area. It's about less than 400 square feet, but they would like to have those carpeted as well. This will not be on the 100% reimbursement. This will be on the county's typical reimbursement schedule, which would be about 60% would be reimbursed to us, if I'm correct, ballparking that, once this is approved by and put in by the AOC. So we have 3 bids. One for Moit Carpet for $1,981.69. I'm sorry, I misspoke. This is a quote.
Quote.
This is a quote of $1,981.69 from Moit's in Henderson. We have a quote, Square Yard Carpet. They are in Henderson as well for $1,896.23. That's $1,896.23. And then we have one more quote from Coalfield Flooring from Madisonville for $2,050.79. This is $2,050.79. What's the pleasure of the?
I'll make a motion, we go with Square Yard being the lowest bid, as long as all the bids are
I think that these have all been,
quotes, not bids.
these
I say
have,
bid.
yeah, these have all been looked over by Ms. Tackett, and they are in,
All kind of went with the same
all went by
spec.
the same specs, and they're pretty similar to what's in there, if not exactly the same carpet, so to keep it all similar. And to the issue of the carpet that's already installed, looks fantastic. That gets a lot of wear over there, and so it's my understanding that may be the first replacement that's been done since that building was done in '96.
I
So
would say so.
we got the money's worth out of that one, as much use as it gets. So we had a motion.
Second.
Second by Magistrate Ricketts.
Just-
Any further discussion?
Just a point of clarification, I think Rick Clemens owns that, but that's not my brother Rick down here. That's Rick Clemens, and I'm no kin to him, so.
Okay.
I'm
You're probably the only one that knows that.
Yeah.
And for those things, include the installation too.
Yes, take up and installation, yes. Yeah,
I
install,
thought
yep.
you were gonna do that.
Well, that's why I was making sure.
No, it's in there. It's in there.
You and Melissa.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Number 14, have a letter here from Union County Planning Commission, Sean Sheffer, and we have these names to be considered for reappointment, and we have one new appointee and some reappointments of some others, and I'll designate which are which. We have a reappointment of Bobby Hunt for a term until September 20th, 2022. Bill Price for an appointment July 1, 2022. Dennis Onan, March 17th of 2022. Richard White for an appointment to expire 7/1/2023. Those are all reappointments, correct, Sean? And our new appointee will be Jeremy Hill, and his term will expire January 7th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Let's see, Sean, on that, somebody got off and they were appointing Jeremy Hill.
Yes. Tom Fishburne was appointed the last term.
He moved out of county. Yeah, okay, thank you.
It was some kind of later, just they were being cleaned up in the
Okay.
This for everybody else, the county has 5 appointees, City of Warfield has 4, City of Sturgis has 2, and City of Waverly has 1. So it's spread out across all the county.
And for further clarification, the City of Uniontown does not participate in
Does
that.
not participate in this.
Any further discussion on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Number 15 is the audit report. We had an audit back in August, August, ran into September. When he left, he told us everything was in great shape, but we have to wait for that to go through the state auditor's office, and they are slow. So we've just gotten that back, and I'm pleased to report to you that the county, for fiscal year ending 2018, has an audit report of no findings. And even from the standpoint of our internal controls, there were no findings. And we talked with, no worries, we talked with our auditor, and he was pleased with what he found, and just want to say hats off to Alyssa. Thank you for your work with him, and I met with him several times. It was a good conversation to have, and so I just wanted to publicly say that we received a good audit, and
So what's the dates on that?
it was for fiscal year ending June 30th of 2018. So it's for the 17-18
We're up
timeframe.
to speed.
So that was our last one. Our next audit, the schedule should be going through the state. The state should come in and conduct that, but
However, the state is very far behind on looking for outsourcing again, so the letter's been sent that we are willing to take on the same auditor that's done us the last few years if the state wants to push us back another year because of how far behind they are.
yeah,
They try to do one every so many years.
Every 4 years.
Every
they
4
want
years,
to, but
they come in.
are extremely behind right now. And we still are trying to get, and they're not allowed, they haven't updated KRS yet, they are not allowed to outsource clerk and sheriff audits, only fiscal court audits. And because they're so far behind, they're
That's what they
trying
do.
to, RFP for, lack of a better word, county audits right now. They're asking auditors, outside auditors that are willing to take on.
Which they talked about that at one of our
Yes.
trainings.
And so when we got this official word back, we also got the word that they were behind, and we went ahead and have already sent the letter in. The judge signed the letter, we sent that into the state auditor's office that said, we're willing to do it, here's the request, if you want to honor it, and then they'll either write us back and say, yes, we want you to do that, set it up outside source, or no, we're gonna keep you after review.
Well, this court appreciates the work of yours, Crystal, Kim, and all those.
Yep. There's a lot of work goes into those audits, and a lot of work goes into making sure those audits run smoothly the 365 days prior to that audit. So thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, I want to thank you.
Crystal and Kim.
This is important. It's real important.
Lisa, on whether the state, if the state does it and they say we got time to do it, we still get a bill for that. we're still charged,
Oh,
right?
yes.
Okay,
Nothing
well, I
is
want
free in this
people
world.
to understand, we're not, well, y'all didn't get the state to do it, and therefore we had to pay. But actually, when we outsourced it to a state-approved, it's
Quite a
been
bit cheaper.
cheaper.
Yeah, it's
It's
quite a
been
bit cheaper.
cheaper
It's a
than
lot
the state did.
Even when the state sends us the back bill for their review, the back bill and the private auditor together is significantly cheaper than when the state does
Than
it
when the
themselves.
state-
Yeah, and
Generally, because the state takes so much longer, there's a lot more hours billed.
Okay.
And it should be noted that this audit was not just done by the auditor that we had, which was Mr. Hunter from Lexington, but it was reviewed by the state auditor's office as well, so.
Okay.
And signed off on. Thank you. That's why we have that. So, that's just a FYI for a report. Number 16 are claims. Jerry or Joe?
Myself, Magistrate Floyd, Judge O'Man, and the county attorney, Julie Wallace. All four of us went over the claims yesterday. They seem to be in order. There was a few finance charges there, but I think we're working on them to get them straight. I know whether Mike Smead has been sick.
He
so
signed this morning.
He did get to sign them. So I'm gonna make a motion, we approve the claims. Of course, you can still have questions if you want to.
Second.
Motion made second. Any discussion?
We had all our heads in here too, the heads
Mhm.
of the different departments.
And just, that's probably some people noticed, that was a addition of Julie, our new county attorney, and welcome Julie to be part of the team as well. She wants to be part of that, and she's going to be included in that every time bills are reviewed. And that's part of her KRS statute. She wants to do that, so she'll be here and going over those with us as well. So that was, it was great to have you, Julie. Just wanted to note that, if people noticed a difference in that. So, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Number 17 are our transfers. These are mostly jail and, I think I did that. Jail transfers, keep the jail going, and we also have some CD that we cashed out and that we're getting with CAECO. They have a program that will pay a little bit better return on our money than just the regular CD. So we're gonna explore that in the next few days and get that on a little better interest. And we'll be working with the finance team on that ahead of time and then come back with the court, hopefully at our next meeting, to know what we're gonna do with that. So that's kind of a report on the transfers. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion?
You want to add anything, Melissa?
Not at all.
Okay, so, we're trying to pay bills, aren't we?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Now we'll let you talk, Melissa, on your December 2000 Treasurers Report, 2018, I'm sorry.
I was waiting on, I had this last bank statement that always comes in late, and so I was only able to finish the treasurer's report yesterday afternoon. It's there, all the accounts were balanced out. I wasn't able to do the quarterly that I hoped to do today, so next court meeting I'll have that, and have the percentages and everything for you for the halfway point through the year. We have some big money coming back to us hopefully this month on grant reimbursement, so that'd be good too, that you will all see hopefully by the next board meeting.
Okay, we've been in contact with DLG, just kind of requesting that money, and I know Mark's working on get a reimbursement on a grant that he's received, and so all of these projects that we do first come out of our money, and we get reimbursed for it, so we're waiting for that reimbursement for all those, but we're in good shape. Anybody have anything else on that? Do we have a motion on that?
No.
Did we accept it? I'll entertain a motion for that.
So moved.
Is there a second? Motion made and second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. I tell you what we'll do first. Today, first off, I'm gonna recognize some of our own folks here in the county. If I can get them picked up. So, the county has a road department. Our road department has a program they've been involved in, and it's a Road Scholar program. And so we have 4 with us today that have participated and have finalized that Road Scholar program, and then they're going, starting in the spring, they will be in the master's program. Is that correct? Am I getting the terminology right? We have one additional employee, Tony Ratley, who's not here, just likes a couple of classes of having his done, and we're going to try to see if we can get those done simultaneously so he can stay up with these guys. But anytime we have training and people are trying to excel at what they do, we want to recognize that. And so we have a fantastic crew. We're thankful for them. They put in a lot of hours. They do a ton of things that people don't know, but they're out there hustling. They're the first ones out in the morning when we have snow, or more importantly now we have high water that seem like we're dealing with all the time. So we appreciate those guys and all the work that they do. And I'm going to come around. We've got plaques for all of them. This is from the University of Kentucky's transportation program of the Road Scholar, and I'm going to call them up front. We're going to give them a plaque, and then we're going to take their picture and put them in the paper and brag on them a little because we're proud of them and we're thankful for them. So I'll meet you guys up front here. I'll call Greg Greenville first. How about you, Greg? Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Hang on right here. We're going to take everybody's picture. Next we have Don Butler.
Yes, sir.
That says Mike's meeting.
Don? Well, he's got his coming. They sent Greg's to some other Greg, or somebody's got the wrong one in the state, but we're getting that taken care of. Our next one is Stephen Bryant. Congratulations, Stephen. And our last one, I don't know who this guy is, Robert Henshaw. I've never heard of him, but I do know Bobby Henshaw. So it's good to have, congratulations, Bobby. Appreciate that. Let's run up here. Mr. Daniel wants a picture, so.
Everybody step on.
Yeah, everybody get up there.
Crystal. Let's go, Crystal.
I'm really too short.
You want us kind of more
I'm
centered?
too short.
Where we going?
Right here, if all the magistrates move that direction.
Can you see Crystal? Where's she going? What? Where are you going?
Coming down here with me.
Front center.
You can see real good.
What tall one is that? Tall one.
Hold that clock up.
Hold that clock up, Robert.
Or I need to be able to read it.
Oh, Bobby. To be a Mike's speed. Yeah.
Well, I have it written down, so surely I can get it right, but one never knows. That should work. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
Surely got
Bobby
one
says,
doing.
can we leave, please? Appreciate it. Great.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, guys.
He did. Mike's speed got one too. Mike's kind of under the weather today, and he wanted to keep it to himself and not spread that joy around. So
We
appreciate it.
very much.
we appreciate it. I have several things that on my little list to go through before we get to the magistrates. One thing I want to note, got a letter from EOC responding or letting me know that our jail inspection was without fault, was clean. So I wanted to recognize Jailer Elder for the good work over there, and some tough building circumstances sometimes, but good job, and we thank you for that. That's always good to get those reports back. Last week we had a newly elected official training, and this was the brainchild of Strictly, of Sean, Melissa, Tammy, and I think Greg had some input on that as well. That's where we gathered a lot of the people from the county. I know the sheriff participated. There was a lot of people there where we gathered some city folks, council members together, and how we can work together and explain roles and duties and what we do. And I think it was a fantastic success. So credit to you guys for putting that. That was strictly their idea, but it was a great start for a new year and how we can work together. And there were lots of good questions and lots of real positive feedback. We probably had close to, I don't know, 50? Would it be close to 50 there or more? So it was good to have everybody. I received word I think it was last week, got an award from FEMA. This is another project that Mike, Lissa, Greg, and Sean have been working on. We were awarded $193,000 for their efforts due to the flooding that we saw back in the spring. Who knows when we'll get that money, hopefully sooner than later. We were one of the first ones in the state to have our application in, which again is all on them. And that was good work. One thing that we have included in that FEMA application was we have some real issues down at the Blackburn boat ramp down by the Shawneetown Bridge. And if we're not careful, we're going to lose that entire boat ramp. We're already up to the blacktop now, and so we have an application in that will be for a tremendous amount of money. Hopefully we'll get that to mitigate that, where these floods won't continue to wash that out and we can get that bank stabilized. But man, that is going to require a ton of work, a ton of rock, and a ton of money, most of which is going to have to be done from the river. So that just adds that expense. I know Sean and Greg and Mike have been down there several times with the drone, flying it, sending pictures to FEMA. Been working with, I was down there and met with FEMA once, and that's an ongoing process, but we are expecting to have that awarded as well. We've been given all the indications that that's coming, but we haven't seen it yet.
Just for clarification, we are getting it. We qualified for it. The only question is how large it's going to be. But we are approved. We will get those.
We're hoping that's a large enough approval that we can mitigate that, and where we won't continue to have to fight this battle, and that's part of what we're doing.
Yeah, Greg, on, when you said that we are gonna get it, you're talking about on the Blackburn
Ranch area, yes, sir.
Okay, good deal, thank y'all.
It's a Category G disaster. It's a whole different, it's a different animal from the rest of the disaster. And when we said just the basics right now are gonna be over the top, the minimal. So we have no doubt that not only are we gonna be approved, but that we're gonna get completely covered because
And we're talking probably better than a $500,000 project, more than likely, when it's all said and done. And
I expect it to be higher.
yeah, and when our last high river, if anybody went down there, and I know the guys have, I went down there and looked again, we lost more. And so it's just going to happen if we don't get that bank stabilized. And that's a real strategic advantage for us, especially if we have a type of disaster that Greg was speaking of earlier. We've got two spots between here and wherever to get across the river, and that's Shawneetown and Evansville. And so that particular road map or boat ramp will be a strategic value to us to have stabilized, where it will always be open for us to use. If in our case, what we're always told will happen is more than likely an earthquake, and so that would cause some bridge trouble. So we need that boat ramp to be open, and so appreciate your efforts. Keep at it. That's good. That's somebody else's money, and that's what we always want to do if we can do it. So another thing that we have on the agenda was contacted by Zella, what's her last name? Pearson. I want to say Wallace, but that was my teacher. That's not right. Miss Pearson, Zella Pearson, trains all over the state for fiscal courts, judges, just lots of different things. But she has contacted us and wants to put on a training for newly elected officials, which would not just be the magistrates, it would be for all the newly elected officials. And it would also include, that would be one day, the second day would be parliamentary procedure. It's kind of expensive, it's about $3,000 to do that, but we've contacted Crittenden County and they would like to join us and be part of that, so we would cost share that item. We can have up to 30 people. We would host it here in the courthouse. It would, because we will have all of us, or hopefully enough of us present, To our media folks, that will be an open meeting, and everybody's invited to that, but it's strictly a training on the duties and the roles of what we are to do as officials and as especially with so many new members and a new year and a new start. I would recommend that we proceed with this to try to get dates locked down with Zella as quick as we could possibly do that, all the while working with Judge Newcomb. I've spoken with him while we work with Judge Newcomb to accommodate their schedule and get that. Hopefully, it'd probably be the first half of February before we could get this pulled off, but be for all of us. Yes, sir.
Will that training go towards the training hours?
Yes, provides 12 hours of training as well. So when we think about it from that standpoint, it's really an inexpensive training model because nobody has to travel. Nobody, I mean, there's no hotels, no meals. It's just here in our courthouse. So.
Judge, I'd like to move that we get that going, please.
Okay.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Where will it be hosted here in the courthouse?
Well, it will either be in this fiscal courtroom or try to have it upstairs, and we'll have to work around court when we would have that. But it doesn't have to be here. We could use the extension office.
I was
We could
thinking
use
extension office.
We could use the museum. There's lots of places. And in fact,
museum.
the extension office, I'm just thinking because she's going to have a PowerPoint, that's probably the best thing to do would be, because that's set up very nicely. Melissa had a great PowerPoint the other night, and we got screens, we've got all that. So I'll work on that, and I'll have a report at the next meeting about how dates and try to get people together. But I think it'd be a great project. We want to do the job and we want to do it well, and I think she'll get us going in the right direction.
Definitely pay for itself by having it here.
Oh, absolutely.
Oral
Absolutely.
surgery tomorrow.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. I have one more thing. I have a meeting this afternoon with Sean and our engineer of record. I have talked to one construction person, and I have talked to DLG as far as whether it would qualify for a coal severance project. And I'm going to proceed to just check on prices or the possibility. And I don't have any prices, and it'll all come back before the court. This is just an FYI of putting an elevator in this courthouse. We have a beautiful historic courthouse that is not very functional with the lift that we have now. It's better than nothing, but there's not much of anything dignified about that lift that we have out there to get somebody up and down those steps. And so the first construction person I talked to pointed to a perfect, logical place that it would go. Was not nearly as expensive as I thought it would be, but until we hear it from our engineers, there's no place to go with it until we figure that out, and we'd have to do bid packages and all that stuff would be proper. But I just want to let people know my thought process, and one of those reasons is I have invited Julie Wallace, our county attorney, back over to the courthouse, in which she would like to join us here. And so part of that process is we need to make our courthouse more functional to accommodate her here. It makes perfect sense to have everybody in this. We're working with the sheriff's office about moving offices around, and it may look completely different one of these days, but until we get an elevator where all of the floors of this beautiful courthouse are accessible, it's a non-starter. And so that's where I think we start. When I asked DLG, did they have any money for courthouse revitalizations, they snickered at me and said, yes, coal severance. And so they were all on board of that project. They thought it would be good, so that I assume there'd be no problem there. And this is extremely preliminary. But in order to get Julie back over here, we're going to have to move some things around, and we can't really move things around until we get this courthouse where we can use it all. And that will be from the basement to the third floor. And so I have to go up to the third floor occasionally to talk to our Union County First folks, and it's any 5-minute conversation is 10, because I got to catch my breath for the first 5. And I hear that regularly from people.
And it's not just for Julie to get upstairs?
No.
Okay.
It's for everybody.
So everybody knows, we keep bringing because she has a lot of people in and out of her office.
And here's another thing. I would love to see this meeting held upstairs in the second floor of the big courthouse where we don't have people moving in chairs at the last minute and we're sitting on top of each other. I believe that all that want to come to this meeting should be welcome to do so. And if we have a big room, I think we'll have bigger crowds. And so that's another reason. But right now, with the lift that we have that functions half the time,
And we pay a lot on it. We pay a lot of maintenance, a lot.
yeah, and I'm telling you, if you want to get somebody up there for a 9 o'clock meeting, you better get started about 8:30. That's just the way that thing works. And it's better than nothing. But we can do better. We can do much better. And so I'll keep everybody be in the loop. It won't get very far before it's back here to see if this court approves of that idea and thinks that's a good idea. But I just want to be accountable and I want to be transparent in what I'm doing. And those are the reasons why, kind of in a nutshell, of why I'm doing what I'm doing. Oh, yeah, I got it. As always, Crystal is looking out for me and keeping me in good shape. We need to set committees to review the claims.
I had that on here too.
You had that too. So it would be good for us to have a senior magistrate and a new guy to get started.
I'll do it the first quarter.
I'd like to participate.
Okay, so we have two. We got it. So,
I'll take second quarter and.
I'll take the next one.
okay. Man, that was
Then
easy.
we'll go from there.
Okay, that's good. So we've got half a year taken care of. We're good through June.
Yay.
And we look forward to working with
That's what, I guess,
the new folks.
we come in on Monday before the meeting at 1 o'clock and.
Just for record, the Monday before our next court meeting, we are off. So we may need to review them the Friday before our meeting.
Okay.
Dr. King Day.
Yes, sir.
So,
Third Monday. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
21st.
so you two, we'll get together the Friday before we can be, we'll work around everybody's schedule and try to get together.
Can you do it on Friday, Julie?
Okay, good. All right, got that set.
One thing you might keep, like if Rick or Jimmy can't do it, y'all might call Jimmy Burns to sit in
Yeah.
for you, so, because he's,
There will be things come up and anybody can sit in on them.
Yes.
This,
yeah, we just can't have a quorum, man.
Sure.
Just,
Okay, that's, I think that's all that I have. We'll go to our magisterial comments. District 1, welcome aboard.
Thank you, sir. One thing I gotta say is the ladies in the office have been awesome in helping me get going. I wanna thank you all, and, I'm glad to be aboard.
Okay.
And, hats off to our firefighters. 2 weeks ago, we had a huge fire out on 359, and, out there 7.5 hours, shoveling water, and they've done an awesome job. Mark your dispatchers, thank you. They had a lot of radio traffic and help from other counties, but, thank you. That's all I got.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
District 2, Jerry?
just a couple things. The girls in the office are always that good, so. Can we get like an update on, is there anything, any problems with the water project, everything going along smooth? And every time I back,
Kind of holidays.
yeah, we had a little standstill. I know I got a call one sunny day, couldn't believe they wasn't working. I was like, but I've been moving right along. I know we've had a lot of holidays,
By next meeting, I'll have better.
a lot of rain there for a while there, so.
We're meeting
You want me to go
this
get it?
afternoon.
Okay. That's all I have.
All right. District 3, welcome aboard.
Thank you. Sean, congratulations on that inspection report. Appreciate that. And Melissa, I wanted to respond to the training, last Thursday's training. And I've gotten quite a bit of feedback from some of the officials in the cities, and I thought it was excellent. I would suggest maybe we look at doing that on an annual basis. It was that good. Just having everybody together in the interaction. So it was good. I just want to publicly say that, it's my privilege to represent the citizens in my district and all of the citizens of Union County. I look forward to working with all citizens, Judge Onan and fellow magistrates to identify our challenges, our problems, and also many opportunities, and develop solutions for all of those that moves Union County forward. So I'm excited about the next 4 years and moving in that direction. I have a couple items on my radar screen. I'm not going to talk about those this morning, but they're going to come up that I've identified that I want to move on and work on and try to make things better in those two areas. So, thank you.
Thank you. Magistrate Burns, welcome aboard.
Thank you. And I too like to thank the ladies that have helped me a lot in that office. And if it wasn't for them, I don't know where I'd be right now. So what I'd like to do is to thank all the voters and citizens who voted for me and allowed me to have this position to serve and help make Union County a better place to work and live. And also with the teamwork from our magistrates and our judge, I think we got an excellent chance to make things happen. And I'd like to say also that Adam has told us to build a cathedral, not just a church, so we're going for the home run instead of the single.
Good. I'm on board with that. All right. You good?
I'm good.
Thank you. Welcome back.
Thank
Magistrate
you.
Clemens.
Good to be back.
I know.
Thank you, District
I'm
5.
sorry, welcome back.
I mean, I'm the only one that get welcomed the whole time. We made a big deal about Joe Clemens. I'm like, well, I'm okay.
Let's see, need to talk to Mike Smead, he's not, I'll catch him later. Sean, I need to talk to you if I could after court meeting, 3 minutes briefly. Kim Wells, I called her and told her at grad, I'm probably not gonna be there. My wife's having some oral surgery on this date unless that's canceled, but she wanted to remind everybody of the grad on the 9th. It's tomorrow at 9 o'clock, so anybody, and it's open for not only Newly, but anybody else that wants to come. Even if it's not your first term, she said anybody that wants to come is welcome to come. They're open to it. Melissa, I have people saying, y'all need to get rid of that Sykes building. Y'all need to get rid of that. I say, Melissa, they've been working on that Sykes building to try to find and get somebody in it. So I'm just saying, I don't want the public to think we're just sitting here and not doing anything. Do you want to just give us an update on what you're doing or what you're trying to get done on the Sykes building? I know we've had some different problems with it for a building that's been sitting there for years, but it is something we're very, very interested in getting someone in there, some good paying jobs, so.
Right. We actually just recently had the Associated Engineers come out and look at the roof. So just different things like that are happening. We're making sure we're keeping up with it, the updates, the upkeep, all that kind of thing. We actually just recently, Adam, can you remember exactly what that report was called that we filled out, that I filled out for the
For the opportunity zone.
Yes, opportunity zones. I just filled out 2 weeks ago. It was a big, long form just about the assets that we have in our county. That was the one that I highlighted, was that we had the big open building ready to go for anybody that wants to invest.
To explain the opportunity zones just a little further, that is a program that the Bevan administration had gotten started, and you have to qualify to be in an opportunity zone, and that usually is rural, low-income spots. And if you qualify as having an asset, as Melissa rightly puts it, in that opportunity zone, there are tremendous tax advantages for somebody to invest in that property, where it is almost too hard to turn away from tax abatement, tax credits that they get. It is a fantastic program. So we're hopeful that that program will help us some. The biggest problem that we have with the Sykes building is we have a 46,000 square foot building set up for a call center. And that makes it difficult. It's cumbersome to work around the fact that we have that big of a building with such a narrow, specific use. Now, we can gut it and get rid of all the cubicles that are in there, and that would be fine, but we still have two 23,000 square foot halves with the center divider of a welcoming area, and so we are aggressively trying to do something. Nobody wants to get rid of the Sykes building any more than this guy. But that, we have a very limited number of people that we're going to be able to hit with that project. The only interest that we've had so far was another call center that wanted to pay $8 an hour for 1 year, and they only wanted to rent it. And even then, it wasn't that hard of a nibble. They went away pretty quickly. So I've talked to several individuals. There are some things on the horizon, but as far as a signing the dotted line type on the horizon, that is not happening. But we are aggressively, and nobody's working any harder on that either than Melissa, and Sean's been a part of that. Greg, they went out. It'd be great if it had 20-foot ceilings. It would be a perfect emergency operations center that the county could use, but it's useless for that. We can't really use it for that because we need to have high ceilings for forklifts and things of that nature. So, yeah, we're working on that, but that's just a slow, cumbersome project to deal with.
That's all I have, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. One more thing that I want to say, that the staff behind the scenes got bragged on this morning, and I try to do this all the time when I'm around people. So I want to publicly say what a great staff the county has, not me, the citizens of the county have working on your behalf. And in my specific office, it's Kim and Crystal. And Lissa is part of that as well. And so I just I brought her in here, and I'm going to get it after this meeting's over because she's going to get me. And so I'm not going to make her come up front, but I just want to publicly tell everybody that nobody has been kinder or more helpful to keep the county moving in difficult situations. And I think we're all better because of them, and we're thankful for you. And so keep up the good work. We appreciate it. And if you call this office, you're more than likely going to get one of these two, and you're in great hands.
Everything's good.
Everything's good. So we appreciate it. Anybody else have anything good to add to this
Did she
meeting?
want to say anything? You good?
Thank you. You can go now. Thank you for coming in, Kim.
Or did you want to say anything?
I'm good.
Okay.
Anybody have anything else? If not, I'll entertain a, oh, yes, sir.
Just something quick. I'd like to invite, if you guys wanted to, I spoke to some of the new masters, especially Mr. White over to the detention center, give you kind of a tour, let you know what's going on financially about it. I'm leader of the one on the committee now, so feel free to come over anytime.
Thank you.
Jailer Elder, is the situation working out better now than it looked like it might be with Webster County?
Yes, everything got smoothed over, it's back to normal now.
Great.
Yeah, I've talked to the new jailer over there, and we're going to keep the same rate.
Thanks for your efforts on that. Sounds great.
The dark side of that.
Actually, let's hear it. This is our coroner, Stephen Schaus. If you hadn't met him, good to have you. And our deputy, Lee Baird. Good to have Deputy Baird.
Space on the next meeting's docket, and I'm trying to get around the whole that, it's just educate them on what we do.
Okay, we'll put you on the agenda. Consider it done. Thank you, Petey. I should be more professional. I'm sorry. Thank you, Stephen.
Watch what you say if you say you'll go out on a call with him. He might call you at a time you might not want to be there, but it was interesting for sure.
It's good to see excitement. It's good to see people here. Thank you for coming. And as always, our office is always open. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.